My name is Jessica Carter, and I am 31 years old living in the beautiful, but often rainy city of Portland, Oregon, where the clouds usually hang low, and the coffee is always hot and strong. For a long time, my life felt as gray as the Portland sky during the middle of winter, because I struggled with deep, dark depression that made it hard to even get out of bed some mornings. There were times when things got so bad that I did not want to be here anymore, and I had to spend time in the hospital to get my mind right and find a reason to keep moving forward. When I finally came out of that dark place, I decided I needed something to keep me grounded and focused on the physical world instead of the voices in my head telling me I was not good enough. That is how I found the Iron Heart Gym, which was a small local spot known for being tough, but supportive with a community of people who really cared about each other. The gym became my sanctuary, and it was the one place where I felt like I could breathe and let go of all the stress of my job and my past struggles. I started lifting weights and boxing, and for the first time in years, I felt strong and capable and happy to be alive. I made it my mission to be the kind of person who lifted others up, because I knew exactly how it felt to be at the bottom, and I wanted to make sure nobody else felt that alone. I would walk into the gym and smile at everyone, and I would cheer for the people who were struggling with their last set of squats or their first time hitting the heavy bag. People started to call me the sunshine of the gym, and the owners, whose names are Marcus and Sarah, really appreciated the energy I brought to the space. But there was one person who did not appreciate me at all, and her name was Lauren. Lauren was about my age, and she had been going to that gym for a long time before I joined, and she acted like she owned the place and everyone in it. From the very first day I walked through those doors, Lauren looked at me like I was something she had stepped on in the street, and she made it very clear that she did not want me there. She was a tall woman with a permanent scowl and a way of walking that suggested she was constantly looking for a fight. For 2 long years, Lauren made it her personal mission to make my life miserable whenever I stepped inside those 4 walls. She started by telling me that I was in her way or that I was using the equipment she wanted even if there were 3 other identical machines open right next to us. Then she started telling people that I was only there to follow her around and that I was obsessed with her life, which was the furthest thing from the truth because I barely even wanted to look at her. She would tell the other members that I was spreading rumors about her outside of the gym and that I was a dangerous person because of my history with mental health. It hurt my heart because I was trying so hard to be a good person, and she was using my darkest moments as a weapon against me. I had proof that I never talked about her to anyone because I mostly kept to myself outside of the gym, and my friends did not even know who she was, but Lauren did not care about the truth. She only cared about her narrative, and when her lies did not work or when people defended me, she would get absolutely infuriated, and her face would turn a bright shade of red that looked like a warning sign. I did my best to ignore her and stay in my own lane by taking different classes and going at times when I thought she would not be there, because I did not want any trouble. I just wanted to lift my weights and feel the burn in my muscles and go home to my cat and my quiet apartment. For 2 years, I dodged her like a professional boxer, but eventually my luck ran out. One Tuesday evening, I walked into the gym for a late conditioning class, and when I looked at the sign and sheet, my heart dropped into my stomach. There was only one other name on the list, and it was Lauren. Part of me wanted to turn around and walk right back out the door and into the rain, but I remembered how hard I had worked to stop letting people scare me into hiding. I decided to stay, and I told myself that I would just mind my business and get through the 45 minutes without saying a word to her. The class was intense, and we were the only 2 people in the entire room with the instructor, who was busy setting up the music and the timers. I kept my eyes on the floor or the wall, and I focused on my breathing and my form while Lauren spent the whole time glaring at me through the mirror and huffing loudly every time I picked up a weight. I did not say a word to her, and I did not even look in her direction when the class ended. I just grabbed my water bottle and my towel, and I walked out the door and drove home feeling proud of myself for staying calm. I thought that was the end of it, but I was very wrong because Lauren was just getting started. 2 days later, I was sitting at my desk at work when my phone buzzed with a text message from a man named Miller who used to be a boxing coach at the gym. Miller had left the gym a few months prior to start his own business, but he still talked to some of the members, and apparently he still talked to Lauren. The message said that Lauren had contacted him to complain about me being in her class and that I needed to respect her boundaries and stop going to the gym when she was there. I felt a surge of anger and disbelief because Lauren was using a former employee to try and bully me out of a place where I paid my membership fees just like everyone else. I replied back to Miller and told him very clearly that I went to a public class, and I stayed on my side of the room, and I did not interact with her at all, and that his involvement was unnecessary. But I knew I could not just let this go anymore because she was trying to take away my safe space and my sanctuary. The very next day, I walked into the gym and I asked to speak with Marcus and Sarah, the owners, in their private office. My hands were shaking a little bit, but my voice was steady as I told them the whole story from the very beginning. I told them about the 2 years of harassment and the lies she told about me and the way she tried to make me feel unwelcome in a place that had saved my life. I showed them the text message from the former coach, and I explained that I just wanted to come in for my 45 minutes of exercise to escape my stress and be a positive member of the community. Marcus and Sarah listened to me with serious expressions, and when I showed them the message from Miller, they both looked absolutely fuming. Marcus said that it was completely unacceptable for a former employee to be telling a current member when they could or could not attend the gym, and Sarah looked at me with so much kindness in her eyes. They told me right then and there that I am always welcome to come to the gym at any time I want, and that Lauren has absolutely no right to tell me otherwise. They were so moved by my commitment to being a positive person, despite everything I had been through, that they told me my actions were the reason they had started posting mindful quotes on the walls and why they had decided to add a special women's circle class to the schedule. They wanted the gym to be a safe space for everyone, and they realized that Lauren was the one person making it feel unsafe. They told me they were going to have a very serious talk with Lauren and that they would be keeping a very close eye on her from now on. They said if she ever bothered me again, or if any other member complained about her toxic behavior, she would be banned from the gym for life. I walked out of that office feeling like a giant weight had been lifted off my shoulders, because for the first time in 2 years, I did not have to look over my shoulder. But the story does not end there, because Lauren was not the type of person to just go away quietly. A few weeks later, the gym announced a big community lifting event where members could compete in a friendly way to raise money for a local mental health charity. I was so excited because this was exactly the kind of thing I loved, and I had been training really hard to improve my deadlift. Lauren, of course, signed up as well, and the tension in the gym was thick enough to cut with a knife every time we were both in the building. She was acting even more aggressive than usual because she knew she was on thin ice and she hated that the owners were watching her. On the day of the event, the gym was packed with people, and there was music playing, and everyone was cheering and eating snacks. I was feeling great, and I had already completed 2 of my lifts with no problems at all. When it was time for the final round of deadlifts, I was standing near the chalk bucket, getting ready for my turn. Lauren was up before me, and she was trying to lift a very heavy weight to show off in front of everyone. She was grunting and making a huge scene, but she could not get the bar off the ground. When she finally gave up, she turned around and saw me standing there, and she just snapped. She started screaming at me in front of the whole crowd, saying that I was the reason she failed because I was putting a hex on her, and that I was a crazy person who did not belong in a normal gym. The entire room went silent, and everyone was looking at her like she had lost her mind, which she basically had at that point. I did not scream back, and I did not get angry. I just stood there and looked at her with pity, and I said in a very calm voice that I hoped she found the peace she was looking for, but that she needed to stop hurting other people because she was unhappy with herself. Marcus and Sarah stepped in immediately, and they did not even hesitate. They told Lauren right there in front of everyone that her membership was officially terminated and that she had 5 minutes to grab her things and leave the property, or they would call the police. Lauren was crying and yelling and making an even bigger fool of herself as she stomped toward the locker rooms. While she was gone, the gym was quiet for a second, and then Marcus walked over to the microphone and told everyone that they were proud to have members like me who stayed strong and kind even when things got tough. He then announced that the gym was going to partner with me to lead the new women's circle class every week so that we could talk about mental health and support each other through our struggles. I felt a huge rush of emotion and I actually started to cry happy tears because I realized that Lauren's plan to make me miserable had completely backfired in the most poetic way possible. Instead of getting me kicked out, she had managed to get herself banned while helping me become an even more important part of the gym family. After Lauren left, the atmosphere in the gym completely changed, and it became the most supportive and wonderful place I have ever been. I started leading the women's circle, and we have grown from just 3 or 4 people to over 20 women who come together every Saturday to share our stories and lift each other up. We talk about our anxiety and our depression and our wins and our losses, and we realize that none of us are alone. It is funny how life works out sometimes, because if Lauren had not been so mean to me, I might have never found the courage to speak up to the owners, and we might have never started the group that is now helping so many people in Portland. As for Lauren, I heard from some of the other members that she tried to join 3 other gyms in the area, but word travels fast in the fitness community, and once owners heard about why she was banned from Iron Heart Gym, they all refused to take her money. She ended up having to drive 30 minutes out of town just to find a place where she could work out because her reputation for being a bully had followed her everywhere. I do not feel bad for her because she had 2 years to choose kindness, and she chose hate every single time. Now I walk into the gym every day, and I see the mindful quotes on the walls, and I see the smiling faces of my friends, and I know that I am exactly where I am supposed to be. My mental health has never been better, and I have found a level of strength that I never thought was possible for someone like me. I still drink my hot Portland coffee, and I still watch the rain fall against the gym windows, but now I do it with a heart that is full of peace and a body that is stronger than it has ever been. The lesson I learned is that when someone tries to dim your light, the best thing you can do is just keep shining brighter, and eventually the darkness will have nowhere left to hide. I am Jessica Carter, and I am a survivor and a lifter and a leader, and I will never let anyone tell me where I belong ever again. The gym owners still tell the story of the day the bully got the boot, and it has become a bit of a legend around here, which makes me smile every time I think about it. I have even started training for my first real powerlifting competition, and I know that when I step onto that platform, I will have a whole community of people behind me cheering my name. My life is not perfect, because no life is, but it is mine, and I fought hard for it, and I am not going to let anyone take that away from me. I hope Lauren is doing okay wherever she is, but I also hope she learned that you cannot build yourself up by tearing other people down, because the foundation will always crumble in the end. Sometimes the best revenge is not doing something mean back, but just living your best life and watching as the people who tried to stop you realize they never had any power over you at all. I am so thankful for Marcus and Sarah, and for every member of Iron Heart Gym who stood by me when things were tough. We are a family now, and that is something that no amount of rumors or mean text messages can ever break. I look forward to every single workout and every single Saturday meeting, because I know that we are making a difference in each other's lives. It is a beautiful thing to turn a bad situation into something that helps a whole lot of people, and I feel lucky that I got to be the one to do it. Every time I pick up a heavy barbell, I remember where I started and how far I have come, and I feel a sense of pride that is hard to describe in words. I am strong and I am kind, and I am exactly who I was meant to be all along, and no one can ever change that. The rain might be falling outside right now, but inside the gym it is always sunny, and that is all thanks to the power of staying true to yourself and refusing to let the bullies win the day. I have found my voice, and I have found my strength, and I have found my home in a small gym in the heart of Oregon, and I am never looking back again. I used to be afraid of my own shadow, but now I am the one leading the way for others who are still searching for their own light in the dark. It is a long journey, but it is one that is worth taking, and I am glad I did not give up when things got hard. Every day is a new opportunity to be a better version of myself, and I am going to take that opportunity with both hands and never let go. The gym is more than just a place to sweat, it is a place to grow, and I am growing more and more every single day. I am grateful for the lessons I learned, and even for the hard times, because they made me who I am today. And who I am today is someone who is happy to be alive and ready for whatever comes next. I will keep lifting, and I will keep loving, and I will keep being the person who smiles at everyone who walks through those doors, because you never know who might need it. We all have our battles, but when we fight them together, we are unstoppable, and that is the real secret to a happy life. I am Jessica Carter, and this is my story of how I took my power back and turned a bully's hate into a community's love. It was not easy, and it took a long time, but it was the best thing I ever did for myself and for everyone around me. I am finally at peace, and it feels better than any workout ever could. The gym is quiet now as the last few members head home, but I am still here finishing up some notes for the women's circle and feeling lucky to have this life. Tomorrow is a new day, and I cannot wait to see what it brings. I am ready for anything, and I am not afraid anymore because I know that I am strong enough to handle it all. My journey is far from over, but I am enjoying every single step of the way, and I am never going to stop moving forward toward the light. I hope this story helps someone else who is going through a hard time to remember that things can get better if you just keep going and stay true to your heart. You are stronger than you think, and you deserve to be in spaces that make you feel good and safe and happy. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise, and do not let the Laurens of the world take away your joy, because your joy is yours and yours alone to keep. Stay strong and keep lifting, and remember that the sun will always come back out even in the middle of a Portland winter. I am living proof of that, and I am never going to forget it. My story is one of resilience and hope, and I am proud to share it with anyone who needs to hear it today. We are all in this together, and together we can do anything we set our minds to. I am heading home now to get some rest, but I will be back at it again tomorrow with a smile on my face and a heart full of gratitude for everything I have and everything I am still becoming. Good night, Portland, and good night to anyone out there who is fighting for their own peace of mind. You are not alone, and you are going to make it through just like I did. Keep your head up and your weights heavy and your heart open to all the good things that are coming your way soon. I promise it is worth the fight, and you are going to be so glad you stayed in the game. I am Jessica Carter, and I am signing off with a smile and a sense of victory that will last a lifetime.